Lo, by Charles Hoyfort, Part 1, Chapter 2b. Among savage tribesmen, there is a special care for, or even respectfulness for, the mentally afflicted. They are regarded as in some obscure way representing God's chosen. We recognize the defining of a thing in terms of itself, as a sign of feeble-mindedness. All scientists begin their works with just such definitions, implied, if not stated. And among our tribes there is a special care for, or even respectfulness for, scientists. It will be an expression of mine that there is a goodness in this idiocy. But, no matter what sometimes my opinion may be, I am not now writing that God is an idiot. Maybe he, or it, rules comets and gibbers earthquakes, but the scale would have to be considered at least super-idiocy. I conceive, or tell myself that I conceive, that if we could have a concept of our existence as a whole, we could have a kind of understanding of it, rather akin to what, say, cells in an animal organism could have of what is a whole to them, if they should not be mere scientists, trying to find out what a bone is, or the flow of blood in a vein is, in itself, but if they could comprehend what the structures and functions of the organism are, in terms of itself. The attempted idea of existence as organism is one of the oldest of the pseudo-thoughts of philosophy. But the idea in this book is not metaphysical. Metaphysical speculation or attempts to think unthinkably, and it is quite hard enough to think thinkably. There can be nothing but bafflement for anybody who tries to think of existence as organism. Our attempt will be to think of an existence as an organism. Having a childish liking for a little rhetoric, now and then, I shall call it God. Our expressions are in terms of continuity. If all things merge away into one another, or transmute into one another, so that nothing can be defined, they are the oneness, which may be the oneness of one existence. I state that, though I accept that there is continuity, I accept that also there is discontinuity. But there is no need, in this book, to go into the subject of continuity-discontinuity, because no statement that I shall make, as a monist, will be set aside by my pluralism. There is a oneness that both submerges and individualizes. By the continuity of all things we have, with a hop and a flop and a squirm, jumped from frogs toward finality. We have rejected whirlwinds and the fishmonger, and have incipient notions upon a selectiveness and an intelligent, or purposeful, distribution of living things. What is selecting and what is distributing? The old-fashioned theologian thinks of a being, with the looks of himself, standing aside somewhere and directing operations. What, in any organism, is selecting and distributing, say, oxygen in lungs, and materials in stomachs? The organism itself. If we can think of our existence as a conceivable-sized formation, perhaps one of countless things, beings, or formations in the cosmos, we have graspableness, or we have the outlines and the limits within which to think. We look up at the stars. The look is of the revolving shell that is not far away. And against such a view there is no opposition except by an authoritative feeble-mindedness, which most of us treat respectfully, because such is the custom in all more or less savage tribes. Mostly in this book I shall specialize upon indications that there exists a transportory force that I shall call teleportation. I shall be accused of having assembled lies, yarns, hoaxes, and superstitions. To some degree I think so, myself. To some degree I do not. I offer the data.